Guys, this is PARM with Pro Box Respect, TKO. I'm at the TK Boxing Home in Barking with Luca de Caro. Luca, how are you?
I'm very good, Palm. How are you?
I'm well, mate. Good to see you again. It's been well, I'll say been a bit. It's a few weeks,
On
isn't
and
it?
off. Yeah,
on and off.
Last time was at a QBL show, and here we are.
That's
We've
it,
got
Queensbury.
QBL doing their trials.
That's it. So Ross Minter, Alan Foley, Queensbury Boxing doing their trials at TK Boxing. Luca, for the viewers who may or may not know, you are the Vice President and Chief Executive Officer for Biba.
Yep, as well as the Johnny's partner on the TKO.
on the TKO, yeah, and we'll do that one later. Absolutely. Just tell us a bit more about your role in Biba, mate.
Well, I'm the only full-time employee of Biba. So basically everything that you get to see out there, from the websites through to the developments that's been going on, it's usually me that's done it.
So you're one man.
It's a full-time job, believe it, 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
Just on Biba.
Wow.
Just keeping everything going. Has to be done.
That is a full-time job, isn't it? 18 hours a day, mate.
Yeah.
I hope you get paid well.
Since we've had the gym open, I've only been down here a few times.
Yeah, well, Johnny just mentioned that, so I think it's a tongue-in-cheek. But so within the sort of the sanctioning world, what is Biba's role?
Well, we're just like the British Boxing Board of Control. We're exactly the same. If you look at it for people in the UK, if you're looking at it from around the world, your national commission, or if you're American or Canadian, your local commissioners are more in the role which is identical really to a commissioner in America, rather than the way the system is here in Europe.
Okay.
Like at the end of the day, the buck stops with me, in other words.
All right. And does Biba's role, does it sort of oversee all different levels of boxers, or?
No, Biba's purely pro.
Okay.
I mean, now, coincidentally, we've just about to launch something which is going to be a major development in the sport, especially for those who haven't had verified records. To get your pro licence, it's a little bit hard unless you've been an amateur and you've got a verified record. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
With Biba, we've always been a little bit flexible. We do our research if someone's coming from the unlicensed, semi-pro type areas. But we've tried to do this a couple of years ago, but we've finally actually got it registered as a professional thing. We'll be doing the professional, the novice pros as we call it, which will be 2-minute rounds, which will be a stepping stone for those that haven't come from an amateur background.
Okay.
But obviously they've still got to be experienced. They cannot just come in and become a novice pro.
Yeah.
They're going to have to prove that they've been fighting on the white collar or the semi-pro circuit.
Okay, excellent. And since happy birthday to Biba, by the way. So
it's just over a year now.
Just over a year. So what's been happening?
He's 6 years old in reality, because it's about it is about. But as a standalone, Biba is now just over a year old. I'm quite proud of that.
Yeah, excellent. Well, what's been going on in the last year? You've had a major.
Well, there's a couple of major developments. Biba has NBC as it was before NBC UK. And Biba always been about boxer safety.
Yep.
Our medical standards are the same as the boards, but with a few added extras when people come in at the older ages. But in the past year, in the last 3 months, we've made some major advances forward. I'm proud to say we became the first commission to introduce infoscanners. And for those who don't know what infoscanners are, it's a handheld portable unit that literally scans the brain in 3 minutes. Ringside we can do this, and we'll know if there's been a bleed on the brain. Not just bleeds on the brain, even things like old injuries will show up, unfortunately, as found out with me and with a boxer that got KO'd a couple of weeks back. I failed it, he failed it. We're the only two people to have done so. We've already done something like about 300 scans.
Wow.
And there's only 300 people. In fact, people like Marty Kays, I think, has been scanned 5 times.
Right.
Because he just seems to have been at every show we've done them lately, which is funny. So there was 2 negatives, and both cases it turned out to be due to an old injury. Mine from 1987. There you go.
Well,
it shows you good this thing is, because if you have a CT scan, if you think you've got a head injury in boxing, you tend to go to the hospital, have a CT scan. And a CT scan is the equivalent of 400 X-rays. The radiation to the head is the equivalent of 400 X-rays. So a non-invasive infrared scanner like we have is obviously safer for the. You can do this as often as you want. You're not going to have the build-up of radiation.
Absolutely. And it's such a huge advancement. I mean, considering how long boxing's been going, and we're now in 2017, huge advancement. And you guys have been getting a lot of good reviews over this as well.
Well,
it's been
the thing is
long time.
You've got to bear in mind is that the British Boxing Board of Control have gone out there to people claiming that we're not licensed, meaning that we're not licensed by them, which is true, and also claiming that we're unsafe because of people like Ian Weaver. Now, Ian Weaver, we'll use an example, he's got an arachnoid cyst, and there's absolutely no reason. The chance of having a bleed with an arachnoid cyst is no different to what it is to you or I now.
Right.
And give you a little idea, Nevada State, which is one of the hardest to get your licence at, they licensed Ian. He passed his medicals and brain scans with them. He did the same with California, he did the same in New Jersey. So they've tried to blacken our name and say that we're an unsafe organisation, whereas we've always been not just a level higher than the board, we're at least 3 levels higher than the British Boxing Board of Control. And what's more is there's more commissions, especially those that join in the European Boxing Council rather than the European Boxing Union, who are doing the same kinds of things. We're trying to do it so we have unified medical standards across Europe. At the moment, some countries you only need a brain scan when you join them, and then you don't have another brain scan unless you're knocked out or start doing 10 rounders. I don't necessarily agree with that.
No.
But that's it. In cross boxing in Europe, there's a lot of different specs that you go for, and of course we want to unify those so that everybody's got the highest specs for the safest for the fighters.
Yeah.
And hence the reason, like with the scanners that we have. These scanners should be made mandatory. If people wanted to do this, if commissions wanted to do the one brain scan, that's fine because you're checking them every fight. But you can't just do it where they're not checked.
That's right.
We'll take the case of Mike Towell.
Yeah.
Now, Mike complained about having headaches after sparring. Now, if he'd had a pre-scan before his fight, that would have picked up that he already had the bleed on the brain, because he already had the bleed on the brain. Right. There was already a weakness there.
Right.
So that would have been picked up. And then he wouldn't have been allowed to fight. I know the fighter wouldn't have liked it, but he wouldn't have been allowed to fight. He would have been whisked off to hospital, and he'd probably still be with us today, because we don't know that when that bleed might have really exploded, which is what it obviously did during the fight. The thing is, if you're going to do just a brain scan once a year even, or at the beginning and then when they move up to 10 rounds, or if they get stopped, that's fine as long as you're able to check it between
intervals.
Yeah. Now, we could get someone. Right. Let's use Ian Weaver as an example again. Ian had his brain scan 2 weeks before the QBL show at the beginning of May.
Yeah.
Now, he could get in, say, a real tear-up fight with somebody in his next fight, either on the QBL show, or his fight in July in London, or his fight in September in London. So, especially the September one, he'll be doing a title fight. So he's going to be in with somebody tough. So he could get a real beating. I'm not saying he will, because it's Ian Weaver and he is a bit phenomenal. Yeah. But say he could get a real beating, and he could get a bleed to the brain.
Yeah.
Or any of the fights could get a bleed to the brain. But we may have scanned them in May. We're looking at September. In that 3 months, anything could have happened, from sparring
100%.
to a car crash to anything. So with the scanners, at least we know event to event that fighter's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Then maybe then what these other commissions are doing with just having the one scan is not such a bad thing. Or maybe us only doing a scan once a year is not bad.
So do you make periodic checks then in between? So say taking Ian's example, May and September, would you go out?
Well, obviously when they fight.
Okay.
So we do a scan before they fight,
Yeah.
and then we do a scan after their fall. Those comparing those things are very important. And the important thing also with this, and this is another step forward that we're doing, we're doing a 10-year research into concussion and head injuries project with the University of Wales. We're also doing another one. This one specifically for boxing, and all head injury research is flawed because it's all retrospective. In other words, you haven't got a baseline.
Okay.
It's all done when someone's got a head injury.
Rather than before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because you're not going to. But we're actually going to set up a thing where we're going to be doing it here, funny enough, at the TKO. And we're going to be setting the baseline.
Excellent.
Where we're going to have 20 fighters come in and they're going to just do body sparring. So you're going to get all the actions that go on from a sparring session, less the head punches.
Yeah.
Because there's certain chemicals that get released, and we're using the scanner to check, obviously, the heads to get out. Things we get our results for that. We get the data from that, which is then added to each time they fight. But we'll also be doing blood tests, which show when you get concussion, there's certain chemicals are released. Don't ask me what they are, because the professor's the expert on this, not me. And we'll be doing tests on those as well. And we'll know when any sort of effect's been done from that. And this is going to be done with all Biba boxers over 10 years. Every fighter, every event, we'll have to 20, which will be our baseline, but every fighter for every event for the next 10 years will be part of this research project. And for once, there will be a research that's been done that isn't flawed because we'll have a baseline.
Yeah, and you're starting from scratch. Luca, I know that we're due to do an
on
interview
TKO.
on TKO as well, but listen, you're definitely setting the bar, the standards. I've seen
There's
you
more
in action.
to come. We're going to be introducing. We've introduced cognitive testing as well. There's a lot of things we can do to make this sport safer.
Well, once that sort of is about to sort of start, we'll do another interview. But listen, thank you very much for giving the viewers an insight today, and we'll do another one very shortly. Take care, Luca.
Take care, mate.